Welcome back to my channel Celeb Buzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Before he died, Anna Jones's brother finale told the truth. This left the whole world shocked. Anna Jones was born Mariana Jones on March 11, 1958 in West Lafayette, Indiana. This was a quiet town in the middle part of America. The town was mostly known for having Purdue University. When Anna was little, she lived in Charleston, West Virginia. This city was in the mountain sand, had lots of beautiful nature and culture. She stayed in Charleston until she was 5 years old. This was an important time for her because it was her last time living in a normal family before her life changed a lot. Anna's mom's family was very important in making her who she was. Her grandparents on her mom's side came from Lebanon. They brought their customs, traditions, and language from Lebanon's Christian community. Her special middle name, Anna, was often used by Lebanese Christians instead of the name Agnes. The name didn't come from Latin or Greek like most names. It came from an old Persian name called Anat. Some people also call Intanahit or Aeneas. The name means clean or pure. It's a name that makes people think of spiritual beauty and innocence. Its name mimicked Middle Eastern and religious meanings. It showed how proud Anna's family was of where Eddie came from. The name would make her stand out later when she became famous. Her family was very smart and had big dreams. When Anna was born, her father, John Paul Jones, was a well-educated man. He had a collegiate degree in engineering and taught at Purdue University. He helped teach young students about engineering, and other people respected him for his work. At the same time, her mother, Mary Paula Jones, her maiden name was Twee, was studying to get a degree in zoology. This meant their home was full of smart conversations and learning. Mary Paula also had Laban's family history through the Twee family name. This last name is still common among Lebanese American families today, but their marriage didn't last very long. In the early 1960s, Anna's parents started having troubles in their house. They got divorced right before Anna's acting career really started. This breakup really affected Anna, even as a little kid. She felt the sadness of her family breaking apart just as she was starting to become famous in 1960. Anna became a big sister when her brother John Paul Jones Jr. was born. That family called him Paul for short. Anna and Paul were very close to each other. Their relationship would later become one of the few things that stayed the same in Anna's often crazy life. Not long after Paul was born, the family moved to Playa del Rey. This was a beach town near Los Angeles. It's moving from the middle of Americata. Southern California was a big change in how they lived. It put the young Jones family right in the middle of the growing airplane, keen entertainment businesses. Anna's father got a new job in airplane engineering. This type of work was growing fast. During the Cold War and space race, he found work in the fast-growing Southern California technology area. Anna started going to Playa del Rey Elementary School. This was a simple public school near the Pacific Ocean. There began to showerly signs that she was creative and charming. Later, she went to Orville Wright Junior High School. This change happened at the same time as the biggest changes in her young life. Anna first appeared on television when she was only 6 years old in 1964. Her first time on TV was in a commercial. This was how many child actors got started back then. These short booth-third jobs needed charm, good behavior, and the ability to follow directions. Anna had all of these qualities. Her small size and young face made her perfect for playing younger kids. The people who chose the actors for shows noticed her right away. By 1966, just 2 years after her first commercial, Anna was 8 years old but still small for her age. She could easily play a 6-year-old girl in what would become her most famous role. She played Ava Elizabeth Buffy Patterson Davis on CBS's heartwarming TV show called Family Affair. This show would change her life forever. Family Affair started in 1966 and quickly became very popular. In this show, Buffy and her twin brother Jody, played by Johnny Whitaker, and their teenage sister, played by Kathy Garver, suddenly become orphans when their parents die in a terrible car crash. With no other close family members around, the three children go to live with their fancy and somewhat unwilling baller Uncle Bill Davis. This character was played by actor Brian Keith. Uncle Bill Geshelp raising the children from his traditional English helper. Mr. French, played by Sebastian Cabot. The emotional story of a sad but loving family trying to get used to their new life made viewers feel very emotional. Anna's acting as Buffy, with a wide, innocent eyes and signature pigtails, quickly made audiences love her. Her character shrines with her twin brother, Jody, whom Shea sweetly called Jody Woody, became one of Thesso's most loved parts. During the late 1960s, when Family Affair was sought its most popular, Anna Jones became one of Themerica's most well-known child stars. Her picture was on fan magazines and lunchboxes. She was often invited to public events and interviews. In 1969, when she was at the height of her fame and only 11 years old, Anna appeared in her only movie called The Trouble with Girls. This was a musical drama starring Elvis Presley. Even though her part was small, it was important in her career because she got to be in a movie with one of the most legendary performers in entertainment history. That same year, she also made a memorable guest appearance as Buffy on the short-lived TV show To Rome with Love, starring John Forsythe. This showed how much audiences and TV executive loved the Buffy character. Even though Anna was extremely popular, her career in television and movies was very short. Family Affair ended in 1971 when she was just 12 years old. By that time, Jones had already spent almost all of her life being famous. After the series ended, she made the choice to stop acting forever. Unlike some child stars who have kept acting as teenagers or adults, Anna never went back to movies or television work. The sudden end to her acting career happened because of many reasons. These included the industry only wanting her to play the same type of character, the personal and emotional damage from being famous so young, and changes in her family life. Her leaving the screen left fans wondering what might have happened, while Anna herself had trouble figuring out who she was outside of the role that made her famous. Her short time in the spotlight had a lasting impact. Her performance as Buffy remains unforgettable in classic American television history for many years. The sad life and early death of former child star Anna Jones remained one of Hollywood's most disturbing and heartbreaking mysteries. She was best known for playing the lovable Buffy on the popular 1960s TV show Family Affair. Anna won the hearts of millions with her wide, innocent eyes and contagious charm. But behind her sweet television character was a young girl who was quietly struggling with crushing pressure of being famous. A broken family life and a system that abandoned herons, the spotlight went away. Now, after years of guessing and unanswered questions, the full picture of what led to her shocking death at age 18 is becoming clearer. What has been discovered is deeply disturbing. The situation around Anna's death in 1976 has long made people wonder what really happened. Her sudden death from a deadly mix of drugs raised many questions. How could someone so young, so recently loved by the public, fall so quickly into such darkness? What went wrong in the years between Family Affair's cancellation and that final terrible day in a friend's home in Oceanside, California? And why didn't anyone step in to help? The answers, long hidden beneath layers of family bowls, legal fights, and Hollywood not caring, are finally being discovered. They show a picture of neglect, taking advantage of someone, and a young life left destroyed. An important discovery involves the way Anna was managed, both on the TV set and away from it, during her years being famous. Like many chilled actors of her time, she was never given the protection or mental health support that such a high-stress, adult-centered environment needed. When Family Affair ended in 1971, Anna was only 13 years old. Overnight, her career She faced the harsh reality that the industry no longer wanted her. Casting directors didn't see her as a teenager. They still saw Buffy. Unfortunately, no one helped her get through a painful change. She was forced back into normal life, but there was nothing normal about her situation. She didn't go to a regular school. She had no group of friends her age to talk to, and she didn't have adult mentors who cared about her well-being beyond the fame she once brought. Even more troubling was the fact that the money-ish had earned money she legally deserved was handled badly. Reports have shown that her trust fund, which should have been protected under the Coogan law to protect child actors, was either mismanaged or taken too early, as Anna's fame went away. She was left not just without purpose, but also without money. Perians, who had been apart for a long time and were fighting bitterly, couldn't give her a stable emotional foundation. She needed her mother, struggling with her own problems, failed to see the signs of her daughter's emotional breakdown. Her father, while reportedly aiming to help, had little legal control by that point. The people Anna spent time with in her latter teenage years were not supportive friends, but third people who made her problems worse by introducing her to a darker lifestyle. She began hanging out with an older, more troubled group of people who had access to hard drugs and fewer rules. She was desperately looking for escape, acceptance, and some sense of who she was. Her final days were marked by increasingly dangerous behavior, suggesting a young woman falling apart and trying to numb her pain any way she could. On August 28, 1976, that downward spiral ended in tragedy when she was found dead from a Mazavi drug overdose. A toxicology report showed a deadly mix of sleeping pills, cocaine, PCP, and QUALUDES. The coroner described it as one of the worst overdoses ever seen in San Diego County at that time. Even many years later, her death casts a long shadow, especially over the entertainment industry that so often lifts up child stars suddenly to throw them away once their innocence fades. The Anna Jones mystery, long thought to be just about how she died, now seems more like a warning story about what happens when a young star is destroyed by the very machine that made her famous. The real mystery was never just about she died. It was about how so many people failed her while she was still alive in recent years. Interviews with family members, newly found court documents, and first-hand stories from those who knew her have helped put together the tragic timeline of Anna's single quotes as own fall. Her brother, Paul Jones, who also struggled with drugs and died under suspicious circumstances a few years after Anna, once spoke publicly about the emotional scars left by their cowed coupling and Anna's sudden fame. He claimed she felt deeply alone, emotionally abandoned, and completely unprepared for a life bay and the small screen. These stories help confirm that Anna's death wasn't just the result of one bad night. It was the end result of years of trauma, loneliness, and neglect. For many years, the tragic story of child actress Anna Jones remained covered in mystery. People whispered about it in Hollywood circles, and fans mourned her. They remembered her as the sweet blonde-haired Buffy from the beloved TV show Family Affair. But the full extent of her struggles, the pressure she faced behind the scenes, and the heartbreaking final days of her life remained largely unspoken till her brother, Paul Jones, finally decided to tell the truth in one of his final public statements before his own early death in 1984. Paul opened up about immense pain his family went through, lifted the veil on a terrifying story of lost innocence, taking advantage of someone, and neglect that stunned the world. Paul, who had stayed quiet for years because of a mixture of grief, fear, and emotional trauma, revealed intimate details of their lives before and after fame changed everything. According to Paul, the Jones family had never been prepared for the kind of attention and pressure that came with Anna's meteoric rise to fame. At just 8 years old, Anna became a household name, loved by millions, but behind the scenes, she was being pushed beyond her limits. Paul told how their mother, desperate to make sure Anna stayed famous, used strict discipline while ignoring the emotional damage it caused her daughter. He claimed that there was little to no parental protection from the industry's darker elements and that Anna was often isolated, overworked, and unable to enjoy the carefree childhood most kids take for granted. The public never knew how much Anna was really suffering, Paul insisted. After Family Affair was canceled in 1971, Anna struggled to find work and was left drifting in a world that hadn't adored her, but now turned its back. Paul described her fall into depression and substance abuse, explaining that her sudden fall from stardom left her feeling worthless, used, and forgotten. She was only a child, he said sadly, but the world treated her like a product to be consumed and thrown away. He also revealed that Anna had tried multiple times to get help, but her cries for help were ignored by her family, by the system, and by the fairy industry that had built her up. Perhaps most shocking of all was Paul's admission thought on the night of Anna's death in 1976. Hay had been with her just hours before she died from a massive drug overdose at only 18 years old. He described the haunting image of his sister, already thin and with hollow eyes, trying Tolo and pretend everything was fine as they spent a quiet evening together. He would later blame himself for not recognizing how serious her condition was, confessing Thoth had been too young, too confused, and too numb from his own trauma to see the warning signs. Paul's raw emotional revelations sparked a wave of renewed public interest in Anna's story, not as a warning tale of a child star gone wrong, but as a tragic example of a vulnerable young girl chewed up by a heartless system. His words painted a picture of a loving, spirited, and sensitive girl whose life was stolen by fame, mishandled by those who should have protected her, and ultimately forgotten until it was too late. And just 2 years after he told his story, World, Paul Jones himself died at the age of 24 from what many believe was a broken heart, leaving behind a legacy of truth that still echoes in the halls of Hollywood.